Hey everybody, welcome to Versus. We are we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I am JWMaher, and that is Will Cohen. Like I said, as we come to the end of our first, what I did at least on Letterboxd, I sorted everything by ITN distribution, and that gives me a good amount of ITN's movies. There's also, when you sort it by ITN studios, things get crazy. That's a task. That's our odyssey. But before we even get into that, Will, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Ever since Winnie the Pooh went to went to public domain and people started snatching up the horror, everyone thought, hey, if we could do it for Winnie the Pooh, we could do it for other like public domain properties. We've seen things like other Disney characters. We've seen Popeye. But who the fuck wanted a Betty Boop movie?
That's what we got, though. It's a Betty Boop movie. Yes, apparently. I forget what the name of the first short is. It's the name of the club they mentioned. It was Dirty Dishes or something. Or
Dirty Dishes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the very first Betty Boop short that entered the public domain recently. So that means that this is eligible. Now, a couple things. Back to my original spiel. Like we're almost near the end of the first pass through. There'll be a revamping of Versus at that point in time, but we're going to finish this out. Secondly, Brett Bentman, who shows up now, this isn't like a Louisa Warren thing with us. Like, I don't feel like he's doing this on purpose to us personally. Like I think Louisa does to us personally. Brett Bentman is just like a force of nature. He is a runaway train. He's going to make movies. No one's going to stop him. No one's going to tell him no. No one's going to tell him, hey, don't write that. He's going to write it. He's going to direct it. He's going to just keep putting out movies. And ITN is like, we love you, Brett. Please put out more movies. And I'm like, ITN, what the fuck? And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I agree. Like, as much as your Facebook friend and the future activities director in hell, Louisa Warren, just puts out movies and makes our lives a living hell. I think that Brett Bentman has like one goal in mind. I feel his goal is to eventually have more credits on IMDb than Christopher Lee. And I don't know how close he is to that, but I'm pretty sure that's his goal. If you've ever looked at Christopher Lee's IMDb page, it's extensive.
Forget Christopher Lee. He's going for Eric Roberts numbers. This dude. That's what he wants. He wants, like, I want my page to be bigger than Eric Roberts. I will put out 20 movies a year until I do that. That being said, Betty's Revenge. Unlike, I'll say something positive at the top. Unlike other public domain horror movies, like, this feels like Betty. Like, it's a little true to the Betty Boop character, I guess.
Because I'm already here.
And they got Hannah Fireman of VHS fame, among other movies. But I'd say, like, if you're in the horror realm, you know Hannah Fireman as most from the Amateur Night segment of VHS. She is the succubus character that kills all the people in the bachelor party. That being said, actually, I don't think it's a bachelor party. It's just a bunch of dudes being dicks out in public. But I digress.
Isn't it at a hotel room too?
It's in a motel. It's mostly in a motel room. Yeah.
But like Hannah's portrayal of Betty Boop feels like she was actually trying to go for the character, and I have to at least give them credit. I don't know whether that was her call or whether that was Brent's call. Brent, baby, come on the show. We want to talk to you. Come on. We're getting all your friends on here. Come on. But
I don't know if they're necessarily, these are two separate worlds, but we'll just pretend they're friends.
At the same, like, at least with this, like, unlike some of the other films that we've watched recently, I feel like there was at least some direction here. I feel like maybe he had more coke in his system or less coke in his system to actually give some direction.
I think the direction is better. The writing is the same because my biggest issue with this movie, and I put it in my review, is that again, it's always the cold opens are always like the cold opens are ruining these movies. Like I don't know why they're like you didn't need this cold open for the story that comes after it. The same thing that we had in Aladdin's Revenge. The cold open makes no sense in context of the story. The cold open is a policewoman, Tiffany McDonald, who is I guess part of the Brett Bettman universe. She produces a lot of the movies. She's playing a cop who eats donuts. And she gets called to do a wellness check at this house. Cool. This is the Betty Boop, whatever. It's supposed to be like it was a cabaret. Now it's just a house. So she goes there. No one answers the door. The door opens. She checks, and then Betty Boop stabs her in the back and then stabs her in the head. And she's dead.
Right.
We've established that she's killed a police officer. Life goes on after that. Apparently, in this town, you can murder a police officer and dispose of the police car. And even though dispatch knows where it sent that police officer to, and she was never heard from again, a SWAT team does not descend on this fucking house, which is what would happen in most jurisdictions. But I digress. Well,
and you see, this is why, like this, like it's things like this that makes me wonder if these really two are separate, two separate universes. Like, the US and the UK are two separate universes, because apparently, and no matter what universe it is, the cops are still shit at their jobs all across the board. Like the cop is not even following proper protocol, and the cops who are, she's reporting to are definitely not following proper protocol. And that's why no one really calls the fucking cops in these things. And so it just like, again, like the cold opening makes no sense as to why it's there, aside from, well, if it wasn't here, then we would have a 65-minute movie, and we can't have that. We have to have it like at somewhat feature length.
But the whole thing is like, I'm not here to give free writing advice to Brett Bettman. But I'll give it to you, I guess. This movie is like 75% exposition. Like there's the plot device where Betty gives, what's her name? Emma, whatever the fuck her name is, a diary.
What's this?
And the whole movie is her reading passages from the diary. Any of those passages, like where Betty is like a nightclub singer and she's like a sideshow person, and they bring her in the nightclub and then she's like treated like a sexual object. Any of these scenes could have been done as the cold open. Literally any of them. But you chose to just do something that has nothing to do with the story and makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jenna. And
Jenna. Okay.
Emma is the actress. Sorry, Emma. Jenna is the one that gets the
like for a movie called Betty's Revenge, you would think that the Betty Boop character would be in more of the film, but the amount of times that she just fucks off. And like, in lieu of like these like four dipshits like reading her diary is pretty numerous. And it's like, that's a really poor choice for a film. It's like the titular character should be there at least like 50% of the time, and she's just not.
And so look, the main story is this. These three, Jenna, Kara, and Miles, are journalism students. And there's a weird like flashback at the end of the movie that is also not necessary, but whatever. There are journalism students, and apparently Jenna got like a hot lead about like Betty Boop.
I thought you said this was some kind of cabaret. This is clearly a house.
Yeah, Jenna, are you sure this is the right place?
This is the address she gave on the phone.
It doesn't know it's Betty Boop, and Betty Boop in this universe is not treated like Betty Boop, even though they show Betty Boop cartoon. It's really weird.
Right.
It's, again, these public domain things are weird, especially like this and like the Mousetrap, where they act like the intellectual property exists, but also the killer exists separate from intellectual property. Stop that shit. That's dumb. Don't do that. Like, either make it Betty Boop or make it like it's a Betty Boop like wannabe. They shouldn't exist alongside their intellectual property when the intellectual property is a cartoon and you're acting like the exposition is like a real thing that happened to a real person. Like,
Right.
like you shouldn't have both. It's stupid to have both. But I digress for like the 15th time. So then what? Jenna gets a big lead on the story, and the thing is, like, they want to learn about it, so they're going to get an exclusive interview with this person that like nobody fucking knows about or gives a shit about, but they got an exclusive interview to go to this house. And Betty's just nuts. Like, she's just nuts. Like, I don't know if she's a ghost or like a ghoul or what the fuck, or immortal or mortal. I have no idea what she is supposed to be, but she is an entity that lives in this house, and she will manipulate reality to determine that anybody that comes to that house is a bad guy and must be disposed of.
Right. Yeah. And the way that some of these characters are dispatched, I don't know. It feels like they're just like at that point going for shock value, but it's like, I feel like they could have, like, if you're gonna do a Betty Boop thing, like, I feel like there are at least like ways of like making it unique to that, but they don't do that. Like, they make they make ridiculously like milquetoast choices for something that didn't need to be milquetoast. You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like, yeah, I won't even get into the whole like how they get trapped in the house and like how like little they try to do anything.
Right.
But it's like the characters themselves, like, let's go through them. Miles is the guy. He's the token guy. But he goes from like, I don't understand anything about him. Like, I know he's Kara's ex-boyfriend, and then Kara's mom thinks he's dating Jenna, but he's not. He's just there. They're all journalism students, like I said. But he can't pick a lane with regards to like whether he's like a dickhead or half a dickhead. Like the whole movie. This dude doesn't understand danger like at all.
Don't worry, I got this bitch.
No.
Like, he's tied up and he's like, fuck you, you fucking bitch, I'll fucking kill you. It's like, bro, you ain't doing shit.
When I get out of this, I'm gonna fuck you up! I'm gonna lock you in this house and burn the rest of you up! You're gonna burn! Who you thought you had it bad? You're gonna fucking burn!
You ain't doing shit, bro.
It's like, if you got tied up by like this woman who's like maybe like $110 wet, like, then you're not, you know, you ain't gonna do anything.
Yeah, also she's like, yeah, she's knocking people out, tying them up, moving cars without the keys, stealing cell phones, like everything that can happen does happen. So that leads me to believe she's some kind of like supernatural force, I guess. Because she's dead, right? She's like a revenant, basically.
I mean, they never really establish it, because it's like
right.
she like, so like, do you mind if I just cut to the end here?
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about that last scene, because this last scene makes zero fucking sense to me as to like how it's executed, why it plays out this way. So after like, after like murdering after murdering, like, dispatching Miles, and like stabbing like Kara's eyes out brutally. Like there's like Louisa Warren, brutal. Like a Telephobia 2, brutal.
Yeah.
Like why the woman has to get like brutalized, that doesn't make any sense to me, but I digress. So she like slowly like bleeds from her eye sockets, like while Betty holds the eyeballs and slams them down and shit. But finally Jenna like outsmarts her, gets away. Like the house is like, all of a sudden, like the house is like burning. And then she turns around and there's Betty going, hi. And then smiles, closes the door. But for some reason, Jenna goes, no, rolls credits.
Yeah, because movie is 80% exposition. There's like throwaway lines that Betty can't look in the mirror, even though there's clearly scenes where she's looking in a mirror. But I digress for the 16th time. Basically, I feel it's like an unspoken like social contract between Jenna and Betty Boop that like Jenna agrees to tell her story. She will then try to put Betty Boop's soul to rest by forcing her to look at herself in the mirror, which apparently hurts Betty Boop to the point that she like spontaneously combusts, even though she could close her fucking eyes. But she doesn't. She just lets herself spontaneously combust, and you see her go up in flames. But then, like literally, like Will said, 30 seconds later, she's fine and closes the door to the house. Like, what, dude? Like, I imagine like you had say over what this movie fucking looks like when you were editing it together. Like, you could have made sense, but you didn't.
I mean, like to the point where it's like even beyond that, like I'm pretty sure that Bentman wrote it too.
He did.
Which means that he wrote that in the script. Which means that there had to have been a choice. He was making a choice to do that. But he could have also taken like an extra like few seconds to at least explain why that was happening, and that doesn't happen. And again, this is something that ITN films always suffer from, where it's like, oh, well, we're just going to like shoehorn in a sequel possibility for no fucking reason. Brent, baby, we love you. Don't fucking do Betty's Revenge 2. Please, for the love of God.
The Revenge of Betty's Revenge.
Like, I would rather see like a fucking, I don't know, Beauty and the Beast horror film.
Those exist and they're good. Don't know. We already have one.
Then never mind. I would rather see like, I don't know, let's say a shitty little gingerbread movie, gingerbread man movie made for like this kind of budget. Like
we have that one too. That's fine. I'm gingerbread man's ready for a comeback. That being said, though, let's get the ratings and we'll talk about next week. I mean, obviously, Hannah Fireman got paid, so I can't feel too bad for her, but I do feel bad for her because like she is trying. So whatever. This is like a 1.5. I mean, like the effects are okay. The fire effects are fucking hot garbage. Stop doing that too. Like I don't need CGI fire. I'm done with CGI fire for like the rest of my life. 1.5.
I went slightly higher, and maybe I was being generous, but I went 2. Maybe I went generous because after like the 2 Aladdin films that we watched being so goddamn cringy, that this being like only mildly cringy made me not hate it as much. I don't know how else to put it, but while most of the acting is hot garbage, while the writing is definitely hot garbage, I kind of have to give it up for Hannah. Like if everyone else was putting in like at least in the same ballpark performance that Hannah was putting in, then I might actually like give this film its due. But unfortunately, we have the rest of the cast not understanding the assignment. Hannah 100% understanding the assignment. So yeah, 2.
Well, we may be done with Brett Bettman, but he's not done with us because he chose and this is unfortunately not a sequel to Screamboat, which can't come fast enough. But he beat Screamboat to the punch and made Minnie's Midnight Massacre, which I've got to imagine is not going to be great. But we'll be here next week to talk about it. By the way, Betty's Revenge and Minnie's Midnight Massacre available on Tubi if you'd also like to torture yourself. But we watch these so you don't have to. So I'm going to caution you against it. But if you made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror and check out the Letterboxd challenge there. We'd love to watch movies all year. Until next time, I'm JWMaher. That's Will Cohen. This has been Versus. See you next time.